Hi everyone, how's it going? Thanks for joining us today, and sorry for my hat. I desperately need a haircut, so hopefully after the MCO, I'm gonna take care of it. So my name is Amir. Let me just share my slide as well for you guys. Okay, so in full screen.
Yes, in full screen.
Yeah, all right. So that's great. So okay, so first I want to take a quick moment and thank you, iTrain, for having me on. Just a little bit of information about me. I am an entrepreneur like many of you in this session. Founded a startup called Currency. We are a fintech company serving banks and licensed money changers to actually digitize their currency exchange services for their customers. We help them with customer acquisition through digital marketing channels, different marketplaces. We've won multiple awards. You can check us out through our website, currency.com. So we recently expanded to Indonesia, and in next few days we'll be launching our services there as well. I am also a co-founder at a media buying agency called Beeple. We help brands to effectively advertise their services and products on Facebook and Instagram, Google, YouTube, etc. I have also been working with iTrain for a couple of years now as a consultant and trainer. I have been running certified digital marketing specialist classes for iTrain since the inception of the course in 2018. And since then, we have trained hundreds of digital marketing specialists in Malaysia and across the region. So whatever I teach in my classes, seated in my own experience running multiple businesses and a marketing agency owner, through which I've served many clients, burned a lot of money in the process, as well. So okay, so I'm also certified in different areas of digital marketing, as well. And in this webinar, I'll be sharing some very clear and easy action items that you can easily implement in your website right away, hopefully. So, and here are some of my success stories that I can, openly share with you guys. So these are the example of what we have been able to achieve in Currency, being able to appear in the first page of Google search results for relevant search queries, outranking big names in the industry. So, and the travel industry is very competitive when it comes to search engine optimization. So okay, enough about me. Let's just get started. Okay, so let's start with the definition of SEO. So SEO is the process of optimizing your web pages to be discovered through search engine organic search results. So during this tutorial, I'll be focusing primarily on Google and how Google works to rank your page, since since the world's largest search engine. And as some of you may know, it has like over 90%. It actually holds over 91% of the overall search engine market as of March 2020. In Malaysia, Google search engine market share is even bigger, 98% plus. So that is like the kind of scale that we're talking about. So now the question is, why should we incorporate SEO into our marketing strategies? So there are three major benefits of SEO that actually facilitates digital marketers from all over the world. So The first one is traffic from your SEO activities, your SEO effort is free. So your traffic from SEO is consistent. As soon as you appear, you get a high rank in the Google search result. And finally, you have the opportunity to reach a massive audience you won't have access otherwise. So no matter what businesses you do, people are searching for your products or services on Google, and SEO will help your brand to get visibility to those people who are actively searching for your product or services. So there are report published very recently by Conductor that reveals that many marketers believe, so many marketers believes that SEO is a primary tool for them during this downturn period. So in fact, they have actually acknowledged that the SEO was their top performing channel last year in 2019. So the purpose of this report by Conductor is to examine how marketers are actually navigating their goals amid the crisis. So and the key result of Conductor's survey was corroborated by what you can see in Google Trends. As you can see, there is like a big surge in popularity of SEO in the last few months. So now let's go over how Google works. Think of Google like a filing system, in a library, an enormous library that has billions of books with trillions of pages. So let's say you wish to find something on entrepreneurship. Then Google would search through these books and extract pages that contain your keyword or closely related words. But unlike this analogy, the search results on Google's are not returned in any random order like the way that you see in a normal filing system. Google tries to return the most relevant result first by using sophisticated math-based algorithms, and they're so good at it that most of us never have to click to the second page of Google search results. And in fact, there is a research by Backlinks that shows only 0.78% of Google searchers click on results from the second page. And there's like a joke in the community, SEO community. They say, if you want to hide a dead body, hide it on the second page of Google search result, because no one actually look at the second page. So to better understand how Google works, there are two main terms you got to understand first. To actually obtain information, Google use crawlers, also known as spiders. They actually gather publicly available information from all over the net. The spiders start with a list of URLs, which they may have previously crawled or found in our website sitemaps, which we call them seed pages. Then the spiders read top to bottom, inside out of these seed pages. They actually read the code base of these pages, and then they follow the hyperlinks on the page, and then crawl those newly discovered pages. And this process goes on and on and on and on, and allowing them to build a massive index of informations. So these spiders then bring all of this data back to Google servers to be added to what they call their search index. So Google goal is to sort through hundreds of trillions of web pages within their search index and find the relevant result in a fraction of a second. I'm sure you are familiar with this this page. So you see, it actually return you the result within within like a fraction of a second. So now let's talk about how Google actually rank pages. Nobody exactly knows how these algorithms work or the exact factors Google look at to rank a web page, against another. But we know a lot of it, what we call so-called Google ranking factors. So we're able to make some educated optimizations. So as an SEO, your job is twofold. Make sure that it's easy for the spiders to understand what your page is all about. And the number two is you need to show Google that your web page is worthy of ranking in a Google search result, organic search result. So during this webinar, let's imagine I am a restaurant owner. Okay, so I'm specialized in cooking healthy food based in Kuala Lumpur. Now, given the lockdown, to cope with the closures, I am pivoting to takeout and want to offer delivery services, within Kuala Lumpur. So I'm launching a website to accept, online orders. But since my website is a brand new website, existing traffic is out of the picture. I don't have much of a budget to invest in advertising, either. So I learned about the potential of SEO and the fact that the traffic from SEO is SEO effort is free. I want to just give it a shot. Okay, so as this fictional restaurant owner, the first step for me is in my strategy towards appearing the first page of Google search results is to find relevant keywords that people are searching on Google, to find the kind of services that I offer, and how these search queries actually fit into my my business. So the easiest way to start finding this relevant keyword is to put yourself in the shoes of a potential customer. So empathy is very important. So great SEO starts with empathy. So you need to know your kind of search pattern that your potential buyers or your prospects have. So as a restaurant owner, I would assume that a lot of people, due to lockdown, and more likely even post-lockdown, would search for meal delivery on Google, to find businesses like mine, right? So that is like my first assumption. So, but I need to validate my assumption with some data, right? So in order to do that validations, I need to have tools. So I can use Google Keyword Planner for this purpose. So Google Keyword Planner is a free tool by Google that provides rich data on Google search. So to use Google Keyword Planner, or sometimes we call it a GKP, you got to have a Google Ads account and an active search campaign in order to get the most of the information that you need. So the requirement, you need to have a Google Ads account, and you need to have a search ads or display ads or YouTube ads up and running. So I signing into my Google account as that imaginary restaurant owner. Click on tools, go to Keyword Planner, and this is the next screen that I see. Then I would click on the first options, and then and then enter meal delivery as a search query there, and and press get results. So this is the kind of, this is the kind of a screens, this is the kind of result I get. But before I dig deeper, I got to change the locations. I got to change the location to Kuala Lumpur, right? Because that is like where my customers are. So from Malaysia, I narrow down my search result to, to Kuala Lumpur. And this is the kind of, this is the kind of data that I can get. So as you can see, there is an average 20 searches for these keywords per month, right? Meal delivery, 20 average monthly search. So, which is not very exciting, right? So what does that mean? That means on average, based on historical data, Google estimate that this query, meal delivery query, is being searched on average 20 times per month on Google. But this shouldn't, disappoint you yet. So now I go back to the main page, and this time select Get Search Volume and Forecast. Enter my, my keyword, my prime keywords, and then again, get it started. So this feature in Google Keyword Planner gives us an estimated forecast for our keyword for future. For example, in this case, during the May, Google forecast that 490 times this query will be searched. So, and just note that this tool is designed for, it's designed for PPC advertisers. So, so there are a lot of, features in the tool that won't be useful if you're just using it to find keywords and the search volume for SEO. So now the number is getting a little bit more exciting. But as a savvy business owner, I shouldn't just rely on one single data point. Okay, so what next? So what I do next is I just like grab my primary keywords and go back to, go back to Google and search for that meal delivery to see the top 10 Google ranking for these keywords. So what I can do next, I can, get my competitors, my imaginary competitors URL and go back to Google Keyword Planner. And this time, instead of selecting a start with keywords, I will pick a start with a website tab and, enter the URL, select the home page and click on get result. So this way I would know other keywords that are driving traffic to my competitors, which I would definitely want to rank for them too. So bingo, we see that there's like a search query, food delivery, that has on average, 5,400, monthly search. So now through investigating more on our competitors, we have come across a new keyword that has much higher average monthly search volume. So we follow the same steps that we just went through to forecast in terms of, projected number of search volume for this query. So, which, as you can see, it is many folds higher than, the meal delivery query. So by doing this, I'm ensuring that I am targeting keywords that will provide me with the most exposure for my restaurant website. So now we have by now I have a list of keywords, right? So I know that food delivery is the most, search query in a Google. So now it is time to optimize my web page. So in the world of search engine optimization, this is called on-page SEO. Since we know the keywords that people are searching for in Google, this gives us clues on the language we should use to let both Google and potential customers know what our page are all about. So knowing that, for example, among these keywords, which are more popular, it will help us make more, a smarter copywriting decisions. So as a restaurant owner, I want to have, food delivery as the main primary keyword when I'm writing my content for my, homepage. So if I were to pick, meal delivery blindly as my main keyword, my website would have lost a ton of search exposure because meal delivery doesn't have so much of search demand on Google. But I need to make one thing very, very clear. It is very important to note that you shouldn't try to trick Google by using your keywords excessively where they don't belong to. Here's an example of what you shouldn't do while you're trying to optimize your, my homepage. So this is, you see here, I am just like trying to use the same words, and phrases over and over and over to manipulate my page ranking in Google search result. So this is like what we call it keyword stuffing. So long story short, it does more harm than good. So the key takeaway here: don't do keyword stuffing. So so far, okay. So for on-page SEO, I want to pass on 4 basic but very important tips that you can use on every web page you optimize. So first is to optimize your title tags and meta description. What are these terms? When you look at Google search results, you will see these parts in blue, and then there is a text right below. The top part is called your title tag, and the other part is called meta description. So the purpose of these two is to entice someone to click through your page rather than your competitors. And if people are actually clicking through your page, that tells Google that your page is likely matches the searcher's intent. So and as you can see here, Google actually even both these keywords and and similar terms within the search result page to make them stand out. So for meta description, you can explain in a couple of brief sentences what the page is all about, rather than just putting a generic description that everyone is doing. So it is very important. You have spent a lot of time optimize your page, but you have just picked a very generic description. Then then people don't get enticed to click through. And when they don't click through, that means Google thinks that your website is not relevant to their search intent. Therefore, it is very important to have like a very punchy meta descriptions and and title tag. So in our example, I can put something like for example this. So this would make a consumer that is searching for food delivery really want to find out who this restaurant is that offers healthy food. There's not expensive yet filling. And that way, I would probably, increase the chance of click-through. So there are tools like this one, Portent SERP preview tool. These tools actually help you visualize how your title tag and meta description tag will appear in the Google search result. Okay, so you can preview them first through these tools before you actually publish them. So why we need to do that? Because we want to preview them first before actually publishing, to avoid getting like truncated like these, examples, right? So, all right, so we learned about meta description, we learned about the titles, and talked about, the importance and how we can, optimize them. So the second part of on-page optimization is the most important one, and that is actually the actual content on the page. So for a typical restaurant homepage, I, as the fictional business owner, I might have some images of the foods, a short about us section, the menu, some some testimonials from happy customers, maybe photos of the chefs, photos of the kitchens, their workstation, etc. But without overly complicating things, I would want to use my primary keyword phrase in the main headline, which we often refer it to as H1 tag. So in this example, so Deliverit has the food delivery in its main headline. And if you go and look at the code base, you would see that they have this, this headline is wrapped with H1, which is HTML markup. So and as you can see, they're not out of a blue appearing on the first page of Google search result. They know what they are actually doing. So unlike a company like Food Panda, which they don't have that food delivery that has the highest amount of search volume directly in the headline. So and perhaps that is like the reason why Food Panda hasn't actually has not ranked on top for this particular search query. So as a SEO, your job is to help Google best identify your page as being relevant to the user search query. So that is your job. You need to make sure that your content on the page, your headline, matches the search intent of or the searcher's intents clearly. Okay, so as you can see here, the fact that Food Panda doesn't have that in the main headline, might be a reason why there's not so high up on the first page of Google search result. So I am still, as the business owner, I am still working on the content of my home pages, right? So we just like understood about H1 tag. Now we want to move on to other content on the page, right? So what I do next is I go back to the keywords report again in Google Keyword Planners to check on other keywords my competitor is ranking, and see if there are any other keyword idea that I can use to help Google better understand what is my homepage all about. So I just need to enter the URL of my imaginary competitors, and then I can see some relevancy, some other relevant, keywords in here. So now I have other, keywords idea. So while I'm writing the copy for my homepage, I might want to keep these ideas, in mind, and and sprinkle them wherever it actually makes sense and reads naturally to my visitor without keyword, stuffing. So now let's take this example one step further. So let's say that my a fictional business is growing, right? I have more chefs working along, more delivery on the roads, and there are a lot of requests from my customers for to offer cake delivery. So I decide to add cakes to my menu too. So now I can do I can now go about the optimization in two ways. The first is just like trying to rank my homepage for both food delivery service and and cake delivery keywords, which is not actually a wise way. So each web page has to be optimized on only one single keywords. So that is like the best practices. So instead of just like ranking for both terms, I would create a new page that is optimized only for cake delivery. And as you can see here, this keyword is being searched an average 1,600 per month. So that takes us to another aspect of on-page SEO optimizations that I am sharing today, which is the URL structure. So the last things I have to do is to include my primary keyword, which in this case is cake delivery KL, in my URL for my new page that I'm trying to optimize and trying to rank for. So my final URL will look like this, right? And I'm using hyphens or dash to actually separate each keyword. Make sure you don't use underline. So by now we have covered the basic on-page SEO best practices, and if you do this for all your pages correctly, I can assure you that you're miles ahead of a lot of your competitors. We just look at the Google search result, right? And we see lots of big companies doesn't follow that kind of best practices, and yet they're appearing on the first page of Google search result. So if you come up with a new business and do all these best practices, you would definitely can outrank them in a very short period of time. So the next part, and arguably the most important piece of ranking high on Google, is off-page SEO. So off-page SEO often refers to link building, and link building is the process of getting other websites to link to your web pages. Basically, links act as votes or other people or other people watching for your websites. So when someone give you a link, it works in a similar way that you would refer or send your website traffic to them, and you won't do this unless you really trust them, right? You don't just like randomly give link to people. So, and this is like an illustration showing how backlinks works. But the question here is are all links created equal? The answer is, in general, the more quality backlinks you get from relevant pages, the higher you rank in Google search result. So So I'm putting, the emphasis here on the word, quality, because there are a lot of different types of links you can get from, social media networks. You can get from online forums, comment sections, local or niche directories, or, or editorial pieces. So to just name few, but if you think about it, a place like a forum, in a place like a forum, virtually everyone can place a link. So a link from a forum will likely hold less value than a link for someone else blog. So but to be clear, all these links, regardless of where they are, they all hold some kind of value, but probably not as much as the editorial link would. So okay, so the main way to get links from other people's blog is through something that we as SEO often refer to outreach. So, and outreach exactly the way it sounds. You are contacting people to ask them for a link to your website, but you cannot just like email someone and be like, yo, I need a backlink, hook it up, right? It doesn't work this way. So there are three things that you need in place in order to make sure your SEO outreach campaigns are more successful. So first, you need to reach out to people who are actually interested and care about what you do. So having a good reason to contact them, is also a must. And you also need to offer them something that benefits them, in exchange of the favor that they might do. So let's go for some, example. So what was the first? We need to identify people who are actually interested in what we do. So the easiest way in the context of link building is to identify websites that have already linked to your competitors. So those people who have already given a link to your competitors, they would definitely be, not definitely, but they are more likely to be interested in, in what you do. So how can we find out what are the websites that have given link to our competitors is using a tool like, Ahrefs backlink checker tools. All you need to do is enter your competitor's domain and, and narrow it down to the exact URL, because we want to understand what are the sources actually given backlink to their homepage. So and then press check backlinks, and voila, you see that on the left side you can see the website that are linked to my imaginary competitor, and on the right side you can see which pages they actually link to, and the context of each link. So you need to I as that business owner that I want to get my website to rank higher, I have to scroll through all this search result and look for a content tag. Since remember what I said the editorial links holds more more value compared to the other source of type of backlink. So I need to dig in and and try to find someone that who has already linked to my competitors and might be interested to hear my story too. So bingo, I can easily find a website that has done a write-up and mentioned my my competitors. So now we have find someone that might care about us or might be interested in what we do. So let's check that off our checklist for successful, outreach. So now we have a prospect. So the next step is to contact that blogger and let them know that my company also deliver food in, KL, and why you should be, why I should be as that, restaurant owner on the list. So now we also have a good reason to contact them because we have something relevant for her piece, too. So now we are actually fulfilling the checkbox number 2 as well. So, but just as a side note, it doesn't mean that the blogger will include you in the piece with a beautiful backlink. So as a general rule of thumb, the better the excuse you come up with to contact the author, the better your chance will be get to actually receiving that link. So offering offering a guest post is also a good way to actually get backlinks from your from whoever in your niche, maybe a media publisher, and etc. So as a restaurant owner, I would reach out to several publishers. I can reach out to several publishers, and propose a guest posting, on different topics. So an example can be like, best safety practices for delivery and takeout in the COVID-19 age. So that is a very relevant kind of topic that can help me get like published faster. And then there's like a backlink to my website, and that would help me with my ranking, right? So
Hi, Amir. Just a quick reminder, 5 more minutes.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, these are like the screenshots that the kind of I get guest post offer left and right for current sake. So in exchange, like for a link. So I mean, this request would get accelerated if your website gets a lot of backlink and you get like a good rank in the Google search result. You see all this guest posts. I get even earlier today I got another email offering me a guest post. So that is like the kind of practice that is being done frequently out there for people to get a backlink. So another tip is to start blogging. Now by blogging, I don't mean writing about the look of the new signboard that are just like bought for my shops, or the new apron that I bought for my shops. By blogging, I'm referring to providing practical content that will help your prospective customers solve their problems. Content that provides practical value is one of the key factors to success. So people don't just share funny, cat videos, news, or emotional stories. They also share things that help, others. And the same goes for, acquiring backlink. People are more likely to link to your content if it's helpful, actionable, and solves real problem. So in fact, companies who actually engage in blogging activities receives 97% backlink to their sites. So in your blog post, you can also plug your your product or services, like this example, and from there you can get traffic to your more important pages. So look, guys, I cannot emphasize enough how much a blog can help you boost your SEO efforts. So it is a great way to get ahead of your competitors who have been in this game for longer than you do. So but they are just like targeting those obvious keywords and everyone doing it. So another factor Google consider when it comes to ranking your page versus your competitor is the usability of the web page. Google wants to show results that keep their searchers happy, and this goes beyond the right content for the query. So there are a couple of confirmed rankings factors related to usability. So One of it is, one of it is loader speeds. So load page speed is very, is very important for your SEO ranking. So 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 you see here, Google has come out and said, using a page speed, it is, in mobile search ranking. So there are tools out there like, page speed insight, pingdom, GT metrics, that can help you actually understand your loading speeds and also what is your performance score. And then, you can actually, they give you also recommendations how you can improve your websites. And also mobile friendliness is also another very important user experience or technical SEO. So your website must appear correctly no matter what device your visitor on and no matter what browsers they are using. This is often referred to as a responsive design as well. So, and it is very important, Google actually said that we prominently use the mobile version of your content for indexing and ranking. And as you can see, this is like from 2019, all the new websites are mobile first indexed by default. So all of these, things and many more factors can be summarized into, the user experience factor as well. So Google wants to retain results that are both relevant and provide a solid user experience for its user. So, and if you want to check if your website is mobile friendly, you can just like Google mobile friendly test tool by Google. All you need to do is just like enter your URL, and and it tells you how if your page is mobile friendly or not. So there you have it, guys. Hope you have found this action items I shared with you useful, and I hope you guys go back and start optimizing your page. You saw that, I'm sure you've witnessed that it's not that much of it is not that sophisticated, so as what you may have perceived. So I'm always happy to help. You can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Twitter. Any question, feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir, for the insightful presentation once again. And yes, so if you guys have any questions, I will share now. You can see the link. Yes, so if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat box on the right-hand side if you have access through Google Hangouts. Or if you're watching this through Facebook Live, please send them through messages chat or write them in the comments section on Facebook. So we have one question. And does running ads on the website help with building page authority?
Running ads help you? That's a good question. So the thing here, not actually. So I mean, not directly, indirectly can possibly. Why I say that? Because when you run ads for your websites, you get more exposure, for your website. Your website will be seen by more, people. And when your website is out there and being seen by many people, the chance of them giving you a backlink would actually increase. And therefore, it actually indirectly might help you to get that backlink, and that would help you to get that domain authority that you want.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So far, it looks like that the presentation was very self-explanatory, and not a lot of questions are coming in, but we're still here if any of you have. Okay, so there is one question. We'll have to wait until the person types it.
Okay.
how do I code for SEO if I have no coding knowledge?
Okay, that's a good question. So, you know, you don't really need coding actually to get started with SEO, especially if you're using, content management system like, like WordPress, like, like Wix. So like, there are tons of them, out there. So the benefit of these content management systems, like, like WordPress, it actually comes with a lot of, plugins that makes it very easy to actually do a lot of, SEO works without having any knowledge of, coding. So if you don't have any knowledge of coding, what I suggest is give, content management website like WordPress a try. It's gonna be your SEO is gonna be changing the code, modifying the H1 tags, meta description, all tags would be as easy as a cake, because you have like plugins that is actually developed to to deliver that kind of purpose.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And the next question is WordPress, would WordPress do the coding for the person?
No, there's no coding required. So once you once you have your WordPress up and running, yes, you need to know how WordPress works. You need to understand how how to set up your website through WordPress, which doesn't require any coding, to be honest. Once you set up your WordPress, then for example, let's just like assume you want to update your meta description or your title tags. All you need to do is search for that, in the plugin repository of WordPress, and then you would be offered like a bunch of tools. All you need to do is just like click and install that plugin into your WordPress, and now you have a placeholder to input your your meta descriptions or your title tag. So in this process, you don't need any knowledge of coding. So WordPress has made website development a breeze now. So you don't really need to have any background in coding to to actually set up your website. And so when it comes to plugins, I just like read Elizabeth the questions. So the plugin, Rank Math is one of the best one. There is like, but it is a little bit advanced. Maybe you want to give Yoast, which is like YOAST, a try. So that is also you can use. If you don't get it, just like reach out to me on if I couldn't. It is like YOAST. But if you still have a question, just hit me on LinkedIn or Twitter, and I would share the link with you there.
Okay, so another question from Facebook comes that, would hashtags help in promoting our page to provide services or blogs? Examples for travel hashtags in Japan.
So that is more like a hashtag. There's no actually correlation between SEO on page or off page SEO with hashtag. But again, hashtag is, I'm talking about the direct direct correlation. But again, hashtag can help you get more exposure, maybe for the blog post that you have created. For example, you have done a blog post on top places to visit in Tokyo. Okay, and you publish it on your websites, and then you go and publish that on your Facebook, and you accompany that post with a hashtag, right? So then hashtag can potentially bring more visibility and exposure to that post on social media. And the more exposure to that post can result in more exposures and visibility, and the visibility can probably result in in backlinks. So that is the kind of, you know, relationship that I can build between these two. They are not, as I said, directly related, you know, to one another. But it helps your, you know, blog post to actually expand, you know, in reach through the social media like Facebook or Instagram.
Okay, so another question is, we have heard of the advantages of SEO. What would be the cons of SEO?
There is actually no cons, to be honest, as far as I can remember. So why, you know, why why shouldn't you, you know, appear in the first page of Google search result for a relevant, you know, for a relevant search query? So I don't see any disadvantage to that, unless you are, you know, spending a lot of time optimizing your page for a wrong keyword, right? And then you spend a lot of, you know, time and resources to create the content, optimize the content, but the kind of traffic that you're getting to your websites or the kind of traffic that are not relevant to your business. Okay, so I don't know, for example, back to the example of the food delivery. If we had like, you know, for example, Food Panda maybe, you know, is trying to target like frozen food, you know, delivery, right? And they don't, you know, for example, offer by mistake or by any chance. Now they're appearing on the first page of Google search result for maybe frozen food or maybe for diet food, and they don't offer that kind of, you know, foods. Okay, then they're getting like traffic that they're not relevant. That's like what we say, the searcher's intent doesn't get matched with the kind of content that you provide on your homepage. And, you know, and that might send you a wrong signal. You're getting a lot of traffic from search engine, but those traffic doesn't actually convert to a sale or convert to order online, you know, for you. So that is something that off the top of my head, I can come up with.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And the next question is, what is the recommended host of web page for Malaysian business?
That is like, you know, I like what I said. That's a very good question. The page speed has actually a direct, you know, relationship with the kind of, you know, hosting that you provide, the hosting that you subscribe to, right? So if your hosting provider doesn't, you know, is not providing like a cutting edge hosting technology, that would affect your loading speed, and as a result, your SEO, your rank would be implicated. So what I suggest is maybe we can consider this a hack. Use one of those tools that I shared with you earlier that tells you what is the loading speeds of each website. Remember, like, you know, GT metrics or pingdom. Before you actually commit to purchase, go grab the URL of the hosting provider and enter it into those tools and see how fast the pages load for those, you know, hosting providers. So that gives you an indication of how good, you know, the service provider, hosting provider is. If you see it takes like forever to load, then, you know, then that gives you an indication of that the kind of, you know, technology that the hosting provide is not up to some quality, and therefore might not be a good choice, you know, for you. I cannot really recommend any, because I'm actually not using any local hosting service provider for any of my businesses and my clients. So sorry about that, but that is just like maybe a tips that can help you understand which one is better over another.
Okay. And so another question is, where do we get the set meta description and title tags for Google?
So that's a good question. So if you are using like what I said, content management system. Let me see if I can share my screen with you guys. I think it's going to be a little bit troublesome.
It's already shared, so you can continue. You can exit the presentation and.
Okay, so I can, I can stop the present because I am actually sharing one tab. So,
yes, so
hold on.
You can exit full screen and show and switch the tab.
Okay, sure. Let me just like do it now. Okay, so do you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Is it loading or?
Not loading and can't see it.
Hold on.
So present now.
So okay, share. How about now? Can you see it now?
Yes, now it's loading.
Okay. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Hold on, let me see if this is like a good example to show you the meta descriptions. So if you're using like content management system like WordPress, this is like the kind of, this is the kind of, a backend that you have, right? So this is the kind of backend that you have. So for example, let's just like see, I want to optimize my, my homepage. Okay, I just like go and find my homepage here. So you see here, I can just like press edit. So, and so sorry, it's a little bit slow here. So yes, okay, so this is the page. Let me see here. So if I had like, let me just like see if I have like a Yoast plugin on. Let me see. So these are, remember, these are like all the plugins that I just like mentioned. You can install, multiple plugins based on whatever, needs that you have. So I don't have, I don't have a Yoast plugin here. So because this is like a demo test website, let me just like go to a live website. Now, this is like one of my clients. This money changer Altamage. So through currency. Let me just like check out here to see if I have that. Like I'm sure I have some SEO plugins here. Just
a quick question you can answer meanwhile. Does result of search depend on the locality of users?
Definitely, yes. So that is a good question. So when Google trying to rank you versus another of your competitor, it actually send, show you content that actually closer to your, locality. For example, if you are, living in PJ and you search for food delivery, Google actually look at that location as a signal to show the website that has like that PJ delivery, food delivery in in the meta title or title tag or or the headline. So that is also very important. So how Google knows I'm sure you know how Google knows your location. So you actually allow the browser to actually detect your location. So that is a good question, and yes, it actually because contextualized signal. Yes, okay. So now, as you can see here, I have this plugin called Rank Math here. I'm just like trying to find, okay, let me just go to one of my pages. So let me see if I have rank. Oopsie. Do I have, oh, I'm still on sorry, I'm still on my demo. Okay, let me just like go to my plugin. Let me just close these pages to avoid, you know, confusion. Let me go to a page. So let me see if I have Yoast or, yes, I have Yoast and I have, you know, Rank Math. Rank Math is a little bit, you know, advanced. I would share with you with Yoast. Okay, so I activated Yoast now on this website. So now I go and open my homepage. Okay, so this is the homepage of this website.
Sorry,
okay,
Amir, just a quick question. How long might it take for you to explain this part?
So that's going to take another maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, so I will quickly then say, like, everybody, thank you for joining. So the ones who are still interested in finding out the answer to the question, please stay in. But the others, please fill out the feedback form that I've included in the chat box and in the comment section on Facebook. And then you will gain access to the links for the recording and also the presentation. And if you have any questions towards iTrain about our courses, then please email them to info@itrain.com.mi or learn more about our company at our website, itrain.com.mi, or follow us on Facebook to get the latest updates. Yes.
Yes, okay, so you see here, I went and found my homepage. So, and I have Yoast plugin actually activated on my WordPress. So now it is as easy as this. Okay, so you have this input fields that you can easily, you know, adjust. So for example, this particular money changes the title tag, or sometimes we call it SEO title. It is actually this. You can easily, you know, edit this and, you know, and save it. So that is how you update your title tags. And again, you have the same placement, you have the similar placement for meta descriptions. And then, you know, and then you just like type in your meta description, you know, and save. So now if I go back to this client website, I can just like I can just right click, go to inspect element, and if I search for, you know, meta description, you see here, that is like the meta description. So I have the control over this line of code through my, you know, through my Yoast plugin. And same, you know, applies to your SEO title. So now if I search for title, so you see here again, I have like a title tag that is again controllable by here. There's like a Twitter and then title tag. So you see here, that is like a title tag. And you see here, it's being controlled by my Rank Math plugins. And now I have activated the Yoast. I can also control it from here too. So you see here, there's no knowledge of coding required for you to update your, you know, your title tag, your meta description. You know, if you go for content management tools like, you know, like WordPress, the plugin actually helps you set all these things easily. Okay, so hopefully I'm hoping that was the answer to your questions.
Yes, let's hope so too. So yes, once again, thank you, Amir, for taking your time today to present. And
My
so
pleasure.
there are no more questions. And
All right.
yes, so thank you very much, everybody who joined in. And do stay safe in these crazy times. And yes, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, guys. Bye.